Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm back here at Hyundai of Trenton to take a look at a brand new 2023 Hyundai Tucson. This is the N line. Let's see what this brings to the market here in the performance SUV segment, and let's dig in. All right, the front end of this Tucson N line, we have LED headlights, LED daytime running lamps, LED turn signals. We have that blacked out Hyundai badge in the middle with gloss black on the grille, flat black on the bottom portion. Looking really good here on the front of this N-Line Tucson. All right, wheel and tire package on this Tucson N-Line. We have a 19-inch wheel with that Hyundai N badge on the center cap, looking good. We have a really wild looking design with silver and gloss black. It looks like a bunch of golf tees all mixed together. Let me know what you think about that. We have all season Michelin primacies on here. 235 on the width, a 55 series sidewall, 19s, all four corners, all-wheel drive. All right, full side profile of this N-Line Tucson, and we're looking at Serenity White Pearl, which is the color. Really accentuates all those wild body lines that Hyundai has in the Tucson. Really is very futuristic in its look, with all, especially that hard body line in the front and rear door. It's a little out there for my personal taste, but let me know what you think in the comments. As we move in closer, we don't have any flat black plastic around the wheel wells. That's all painted, which I like. Gloss black on the side view mirrors with LED turn signals. We're color matched on the front and rear door handle with a left side fuel filler cap. Then up top, we do have a gloss black shark fin antenna and a nice big panoramic roof. All right, rear end of this Tucson N-Line, we have a roof spoiler coming off the top, and we have that rear wiper tucked up underneath the roof spoiler to get it up out of the way. Allows Hyundai to put their badge right where the wiper would be on the lower portion of the rear glass. We have LED taillights, LED brake lights, LED turn signals in the back of this thing. Excuse me, non-LED turn signals in the back of this. And then we have some brushed aluminum trim down around the bumper area with that dual exhaust look out of the right side. With this being an N-Line, it might have been cool to maybe do a quad exhaust to balance it out. Let me know what you think in the comments about that. All right, we're under the hood of this 2023 Tucson N-Line. And what do we have for a power plant? Well, a surprising one, I think. It's a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder engine, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 187 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque, MPGs, 23 in the city, 28 on the highway, 25 combined. The engine's minimum octane rating is 87, so you can run this on regular unleaded gas. But frankly, with this being an N-Line, I was hoping for a turbocharged power under the hood. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, before we get into the interior of this Tucson N-Line, you're going to want to know, Mike, how much does this baby cost? Well, MSRP, the way this one is optioned, you're looking at a price of $37,125. So let's check out the interior. All right, footbox action. They did the footbox right. We have aluminum finish on the nice large dead pedal, brake, and accelerator. There is white packing tape over the brake and accelerator, but there is aluminum trim underneath that. We have the N-Line floor mats in here. They're in the back cargo area. We'll show those later. We have the Tucson door sill plate to welcome you to the car, which is nice. On the driver's side, you got power seats with lumbar action, which I like, but front passenger is manual adjustment. Seats, very nicely done. We have a combination of some leatherette with the red piping and red stitching, and then we have an insert which is more of a cloth-like material with the Hyundai N badge right here in the front of each front seat, which is cool. But it's a nice look, and I love the red. Black with red is always a winner with me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Door panel action, really nice. I like the way they've done this. I like the soft touch up top. You do have some gloss black trim coming along there, right underneath it. And then you have brushed aluminum on the, I want to say maybe smoked chrome kind of look on the door handle, which I think looks cool. We do have some gloss black around the switchgear, even though the switchgear itself is flat black. Then you have, again, more of that nice red stitching on the armrest, which I think looks really cool. This particular vehicle does have the upgraded Bose sound system, which is a nice plus. As we move over to the dash, we have the nice soft touch up top, more of that trim design. Then we have some cloth type material with that 3 red stripes over there, which I think looks really cool, something a little bit different. And then we have more soft touch, and then we have a nice large glove box. Up top, you got your 4-way hazards, 2 heat and air vents, and then we have the very familiar 10.25-inch Hyundai infotainment system with touchscreen action and dual panel action, so you can have multiple things up at the same time. Of course, with this system, you have wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto, you have Wi-Fi hotspot, driver profiles, all that jazz is in this one. We've seen it in many, many Hyundai and Kia cars, and it's a good system, but the downside is that the CarPlay and Android Auto are still wired. And this, Hyundai Kia needs to move to wireless technology for those apps in their larger screens. As we move down further, we have dual climate control action, which is nice. Then underneath that, moving down, you have USBs, 2 of them, a 12-volt and a wireless charging pad. And then as we back out, here you go with your nice shift to go through this 8-speed automatic with the red and the cross stitch on the gator with the N badge on top, looking really nice. I really like how that looks. We have our Hyundai key fob right here, where you have lock, unlock, hold, press and hold for the tailgate, panic button, remote start, Hyundai badge on the back. Very, very nicely done. We have 2 cup holders, and then here you have your center diff lock, hill descent control, auto brake hold, electronic parking brake, engine stop start off, your drive modes, and your cameras. As we pop back up and we throw this into reverse, we have a nice big backup camera, very clear with trajectory, no 360-degree cameras in this particular one, but it's a nice clear backup camera. Moving on down further, right here by the armrest, you have 3-stage heated seats for the driver and front passenger, but no ventilated seats. Then you have a nice soft center armrest, black with the cross stitch. You open that up and you have a nice area for storage. All right, Hyundai steering wheel, nice leather wrap steering wheel, nice red cross stitch on the inside, which I really, really like. You have the N badge down below, but this is not a flat bottom steering wheel. I think since this is an inline, I'd like to see a flat bottom steering wheel in here. Let me know what you think. Nice design on the horn button with the Hyundai badge. On the left side, we do have some gloss black here on the switchgear. We have our telephone and voice commands on the left. On the right, you have your adaptive cruise control and safety suite controls. And then as we move into the stalks here, you have your controls for your headlights and your front and rear wiper on the right side. Down here on the bottom left, you can brighten and dim the dash, press and hold to open the tailgate, traction control off. And then as we move on in to the digital dash, here it is, your 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster, as they call it, with drive mode action. So if you hit those drive modes, you have a snow mode, which is nice. You can go to smart, you can go to sport, and then you can go to normal. So those are your modes. And of course, for this drive in an inline, you got to have it in sport, even though I'm worried about the performance in this vehicle, since we're looking at the naturally aspirated engine with a 0 to 60 time estimated of 8 seconds. So this, I don't think, is going to live up to some other inline expectations, but we'll see. All right, overhead console time. We have LED interior lighting inside this N-Line. If you would like the lights to come on and off when you open and close the door, this button must be pressed in and left that way. And when you open the door, the lights will come on. When you close the door, the lights will go off. Here are controls for our panoramic roof. 1 touch operation, 1 light tap. And now you're going to see that go all the way back, the shade go all the way back. And then if you want to close the shade, one nice light tap and it will close. If you pull that switch and hang on it longer and not just tap it, but press it and hold it, then it will open the shade and then open the glass. But on a rainy, drizzly day, we don't want to open the glass. Nice touch there. You got your SOS button, Hyundai Connect, and all that good stuff. Visor time. Nice visor. We got the vanity. We have a slider. Yes, we do. Cover up that side sun. Nicely done. All right, backseat time into this Tucson. We're just going to move right in. Into the back we go. And it's nice and comfortable back here. I'm 5'11". This seat is set for my driving position. I have plenty of room for my knees, plenty of room for my head, nice shoulder width room. So nicely done there. We have cargo netting behind each front seat in case you need to store some stuff. And then we have our rear console. We have 2 heat and air vents and 2 USB-A's down below for connectivity. So they got you covered there. And they continue that nice design into the back door panels and the back seat area of this N line. So I like the consistency of design front to back to keep that theme going. And even on these back seats, you have the same materials with the same cross stitching. So they do a nice job there. We open up the center armrest, nice and soft, 2 cup holders. So overall, it's a nice place to be here in the back of this Tucson N line. All right, we're at the rear end of this N line. Now, you want to pop the tailgate, you can do it from the key fob, you can do it from the dash. But if you come back here and you forgot, right underneath here, here's a little arrow, a sticker they leave on so you know where that release is. And you can push the button. There we go. It beeps a couple of times. Nice electric assist on the way up. Nice electric assist on the way down using this button. And then in the back, here we go. Nice cargo area with a security shade. And here are these Tucson N-line carpeted floor mats I mentioned to you. I'm going to get these turned around. See how nice that is with the Tucson N-line patch sewn in there. I think it looks really, really good. And then we have the Tucson carpeted floor mat in the back. And then we open that up and we got a spare. Thank you, Hyundai, for that spare tire action. Love it. In the back here, 12-volt action, so you got some power. You got some lighting, even though it's not LED here in the back. And then to get those back seats down, piece of cake, because they put these levers here in the tailgate area, and all you got to do is give them a yank on one side and give them a yank on the other, and there it goes. This is a brand new car. They're a bit stiff, but then once you get it down, you have plenty of room. And actually, let me give you a better view. Let me try to get these locked down. There we go. Again, this could be the first time they've ever been put down. So they're a bit stiff. Now we get that one down. And now, as you can see, you got a lot more space here in the back for whatever you may need to put in. Those large Costco run, Home Depot runs, big items. You have no problem. Bikes, guitars, amplifiers, whatever you want to put in here, you got a great amount of room for that. And this security shade, which is a nice touch, this can be removed and stored out of the way in case you want to get some really tall items in as well. So nicely done, Hyundai, here in the back of this Tucson N-Line. All right, here is the window sticker of this 2023 Tucson N-Line all-wheel drive. So feel free to pause the video, zoom in, see everything that's optioned into this N-Line. And now, let's take it out for a spin. All right, we are out on the road in this 2023 Tucson N-Line. And first impressions, it was a few miles of driving to get up here. First impressions, I don't have any paddles. This is an N-Line with no paddles to go through the gears, which is very strange. You would think with an N-Line, paddles are an automatic. So Hyundai, please put paddles in the Tucson N-Line. Otherwise, it is very, very well put together. It has really good, well-damped suspension, great visibility out of all the glass. Turn-in is really nice. can get to everything very easily here on the center stack as far as my air and heat controls or my infotainment. I love the digital dash, the way that's set up. It's really easy to read. It's right in front of you, no problem. So that's a positive. But we're up here on the back roads. Now the roads are a little greasy, so we're not going to be able to punch it as much as we would like to do on a dry day. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful. I don't want to slide off the road, and of course I don't want to get stuck behind anybody that may be moving slowly. So we'll see what happens here. But the one thing that is noticeable is the lack of power out of this 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. This is perfectly adequate if we're talking about a Tucson SEL or any other regular Tucson. But if you're putting an N-line badge on a Tucson, then it's got to give you more than this engine's going to give. Now, I can understand why they don't want to go to the turbo 2.5 liter, because that's going to run your horsepower up to like 275, 276, and now you're passing the larger, more expensive SUVs in the lineup with power. So I can understand that, but give me a little bit more. Maybe they could go with the 1.6 liter turbo with the 7-speed dual clutch. I believe that's 201 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque, and that's going to give me something more for being in an N-line rather than this regularly naturally aspirated engine, which is fairly slow off the line. Estimate on a 0 to 60, like I said earlier, is 8 seconds. That's not a fast car. But let's see how it handles in the twisties. Let's see if they did some work on the suspension for this N-line to get this thing moving. Unfortunately, we can't shift with the paddles because there aren't any, so we're going to be manually shifting with the gear shift. And we're down and stopped, and nobody's behind me. 3, 2, 1. All right. Again, a little slow off the line, but we're moving really well now. Coming up to the hill, to the right downhill. Nicely done. Holds the gear pretty well too. All right, and we're through the twisty area. And not bad as far as the handling and the fun factor. Fun factor was pretty darn good there. But again, as you could hear this thing coming off the line, and I'm going to slow down. We'll come back to another stop. We'll do that again. So again, not quite there with this engine and the 8-speed. Just not quite there with the kind of performance I think the Hyundai customers are going to be expecting out of an N-line product. But handling wise, very sharp. Look at, it's holding its line beautifully. Now back to the left with a sweeper to the left, holding the line really well. So overall, I'm going to turn this baby around now. Not a bad turning radius. And here we go back the other way. sweep or two back to the right, holding this line really well. And now immediately back to the left, holding this line really well. Again, we're looking at regular Michelin Promacy Tour tires, so that's going to be an issue as far as performance goes. But overall, it isn't half bad. I think a little bit more, a little bit more on the performance out of this driveline would be good. Let me know what you think about the idea of putting the 1.6 liter turbo with the 7-speed dual clutch in this vehicle and pump out 201 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque, rather than what we're getting now, 187, 178 out of the 8-speed auto. If they sharpen that up a bit, I think they would have something really compelling at the $37,000 price point. Let me know what you think in the comments. But handling wise, it's really good. Suspension wise, really good. Planet of the road, yes, even with plain old all-season tires. You put some, and what I think would be cool on here is stick with all season, but go with Michelin Pilot. I'll say that again. Michelin Pilot Sport for all seasons. That'll give you a lot more grip, but it'll still give you the wearability and durability of an all-season tire that you can run all year round, whether it's hot or whether it's cold, but still give you more grip. So I think that would be a good tire to throw on here to see how it would help. But it just needs a little bit more help, I think. But overall, it's a fun SUV to drive, and I like it. It's nice, but sharpen that up a little bit more, and then you're really going to have a fun N-line SUV to hoon around on the back roads. It is fun now, but at this price point, I think Hyundai needs to give you a little bit more performance out of the driveline. I want to thank Hyundai of Trenton, especially Joe, for providing the channel access to this 2023 Tucson N-Line for review today. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Please also consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you'll never miss another Shabby's Rides video. And I'll see all of you on the rebound. Take care, everyone.